Just in case you haven't seen one of our introductions before, my name is Briony. I am the student engagement intern for the School of Biology, and I'm in my final year studying ecology and conservation biology. I want to start off by saying that there is absolutely no shame in leaving the university if that's what's best for you. It's your decision about your own life, but I think it's important that you explore all the different options that are available to you at the university before you make that decision. It's partly why I'm making this video today, so that you can hear other people's experiences and know that you're not the only one that might be feeling this way. So, my story, I started off at the University of Leeds, enrolled on biology with an integrated master's. I applied for biology because it's quite broad. I hadn't really learnt much about all the different little areas of biology like ecology or microbiology in my A-level course, so I thought I really liked all of it. It was all sounded quite interesting to me. And then once I started, I kind of realised that I didn't particularly enjoy some parts of my modules. So I always tell people how I was sitting there in my genetics lectures thinking, yeah, it's interesting, but I don't really want to go away and read about this. It's not really what I want to spend my time doing. And then as I was hearing from the zoologists and the ecologists, I was like, oh yeah, their modules sound really interesting. I wish I could have done those instead. So I started looking into both zoology and ecology to see which one might be better to change onto. And I found that ecology kind of ticked more of my boxes. I kind of had some criteria that I was trying to meet. So I've been enjoying doing practicals, but I didn't really want to be sat in the lab for hours at a time. And on ecology, you can do up to like 4 field courses throughout the 3 years. And that working outside was something that I was quite interested in. So that was one of the reasons I changed. Ecology was still more broad than zoology. So it was similar to why I'd applied for biology, because I could look at plants and animals and populations, and you could also do some stuff about individuals if you really wanted to. And then there were some other module options from outside of the School of Biology. So this year I'm doing a law module, and that's something that wasn't available on any of the other School of Biology courses. So that was kind of a selling point, really, because I got to kind of expand past the science. So I changed my course, and then during second year, I started to think that I don't really want to go into research as much as I thought I did. It's something that I'm interested in, but it's not something that I'm desperate to do anymore. So I transferred off the integrated masters because that was focused on people wanting to go into like PhDs and things like that. And now I'm applying for standalone master's courses because I'd still like to keep studying. I just would rather focus on the practical side. So it's not that the biology program or the integrated master's programs were bad in any way. They're great courses. It just wasn't working for me personally, and it wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. So if I have some tips, things to think about when you're going through this process, my first one would be to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. I found it quite hard sitting there when there were people on my course and similar courses that were really interested in one specific thing. Like there's some people that they really want to go and be an ornithologist in some sense. And I've just never had one thing that I really want to do. So I kind of had to check that I wasn't making myself transfer onto a more specific course purely because I felt like I had to have an interest like that. And similarly the other way around, maybe you feel like your course now is too specific, but that's okay. The world needs specialists. So just make sure you're doing it because you're actually interested in it, not because you feel like your course isn't kind of up to the standard of everyone else's. Maybe also think about what careers you're interested in for the future. So for me, biology might have given me more opportunities to work in research labs, and ecology might give me more opportunities to work in the field with environmental organisations. If you have an idea of the kind of thing you might want to do in the future, that might be quite helpful when you're choosing between different courses. 'cause it kind of gives you a sense of direction of where you might go. Something that I did, I looked at the program catalogues in quite a lot of detail. See which modules you think you might want to do over the next couple of years, and I found a way of doing as many of them as I could. The only way for me to do all of them was to transfer onto ecology, so it kind of made sense. Make sure you look at the content of the modules, the way in which they're delivered, and the way in which they're assessed, because they could all affect your decision. It might be that if you change courses, you end up with more exams, and if you don't do very well in exam situations or they really stress you out, it might not be the best for you, even if it is slightly more interesting. That's just a personal thing that you have to weigh up yourself. Don't let the fear of the future hold you back from changing course. Ultimately, the degrees across the Faculty of Biological Sciences are all quite similar, or at least the ones you'll be choosing between are. It's quite unlikely that you'll be a sports scientist looking to transfer onto zoology. They all look at similar topics, so I don't think you'll be shutting yourself off from those other areas. You can always go back to those other topics through postgraduate degrees or other training. For example, I didn't want to hear about genetics in a human health context, but in the masters I want to do, I can look at genetics in a conservation context, which makes more sense for me and my goals. And don't let other people's comments put you off. You're the one that's going to be doing the work for the next 2 or more years, and you're the one that knows what you're actually interested in. So try not to let other people's comments sway you in your decision. Just want to reiterate that there's no problem with changing your course. Your interest will change as you begin to learn about different things, and that's absolutely fine.